Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Writers Chat. We're so glad you're here with us, whether you're here live or if you're watching the replay. If you are watching the replay, we do invite you to join us any Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, and just be part of the community and be with us as we talk about writing. Also, we invite you to join our Facebook Writers Chat group and check out our Writers Chat page on Facebook where you can see all the past episodes. So I'm Johnny Alexander. I'm really glad to be here this morning with my co-host Brandy Bro, Melissa Stroh, and Melissa has the honor of introducing our special guest for today. Melissa, I'm turning it over to you.
Everyone, well, I'm honored to get to introduce Patricia Tiffany Morris today, and she is a person who sketches ideas while she sleeps, if she sleeps at all. I love that. And she loves to encourage other people in Christ. And so Patricia is an eclectic creative with geeky tech affinity and a poet with three names. She adores Pinterest and hashtags, but finds Twitter quirky. She owns Tiffany Ink Studio LLC, which is the publisher of journaling scribbles, and provides troubleshooting and artwork services for writers. Today, she's joining us to talk about Pinterest, the social platform that functions like a search engine. And she'll share tips and tricks to use this powerful tool to reach your audience, create brand awareness, and build your author platform. So welcome, Patricia. We're glad to have you with us today.
Thanks a lot. We we are working with two cameras, so I'm here where the sound is not on, and I'm going to share my screen with you on the other computers. So there you see all your smiling faces. And forgive me, I understand that my microphone, my setup gives a little bit of feedback. So thanks ahead of time for your grace. I want to just start and pray and ask the Lord just to calm my spirit as well as just bless you today. Lord Jesus, I am so grateful to be able to fellowship and share with these ladies. And actually, I didn't look to see if there were any young men here, but thank you, Lord, so much for meeting with us, for teaching us, and for sharing with us. I pray that the words that I say would be encouraging and helpful to each one in this room. Thank you. In Jesus' name. So I have a slideshow here that I'm going to run through super quick. And moving my picture out of the way here. And there we go. So I apologize. You're going to get really good at showing me grace here because this sound did not work in our trial. And I am needing to turn that off before I start. So when I first started on social media and in putting together a website and on Facebook, I started searching around, and Tiffany is not actually my name. It was my maiden name because there were Patricia Morrises everywhere. So when you consider, when you're putting together your Pinterest account or your social media, looking for a name that's uniquely yours is one of the first things that will help. And then when you get into Pinterest, you can use that name in a board, and Pinterest wants to help push that personal board with your name or your business name and push those pins a little bit farther than the rest. The teaching technology side of the apps and the Apple Scrivener, Procreate, all the different kind of things that you can use, whether it's a Mac or Windows. Pinterest has the same thing where on the browser and on your phone and on a tablet, it looks different, and it's very confusing at first. But the primary goal of using Pinterest is to bring traffic to your website, and it's a visual introduction to your business or your blog or your shop or your writing. And the primary platform to bring traffic to your website is Pinterest. And it offers the opportunity to put your custom artwork or your design ideas, memes. I know several in this room create just amazing visual graphics, and to put those into Pinterest where people can see those and see their presence online. And you as an individual writer can choose whether you put a link to your website, to Instagram, if you have a YouTube channel or an Etsy shop, you choose where people go from these pins. So it's a remarkable platform, not necessarily social media. And you can put together these little fun little GIFs and graphics, and they'll get even more attention as they do on Instagram. Just super, super easy with the name and a sound bite and a little animation. And I'll give those links in a document that I'm going to give you at the end of the talk. Putting together a branding, you've all seen this, but here down on the bottom, putting together something like this that you can put together on your pins. Then people will know those are your pins, those are your links, those are your locations. Will give them a little bit more. Another suggestion for graphics, you pretty much can add to this list tenfold of all the different places. This is introbrand.com, where you can go make that little GIF like that. And Pinterest now has a cool feature where you can put that on the profile of Pinterest and have a video clip. Zoom, you can go in there and share and practice short clips of your audio or a little clip of you speaking, a video clip, and you can put those on Pinterest. You can use a green screen and use a background as a Pinterest pin. And I'm going to go really fast. Here is me practicing a while back. And then here's using Introbrand and putting the GIF that I made inside of Canva. And that creates another little layer of marketing or advertising that you can put on Pinterest. So that animation was made in Introbrand, and then we put it in Canva. And even if you don't draw, you don't have art, you can find a photograph, take the background out with a number of different programs, and you can create various artwork and put that on. A quick just look at the different branding, same products, but you can have 3 different locations, maybe numerous locations that you can put your visual pins on Pinterest. So I am going to stop this one and jump over to this here. So what I'd like you to do is, while we're going through this, I would like you to put questions in the chat as you have things, and write the word question so whoever's looking at those can ask those things and find them, as well as if we can interrupt me if you'd like as we go along. So I called this Pinterest Jam just because it's a double meaning. It's like the extra bit of flavor on top of bread, as well as just rocking the social media. So we've got this great opportunity to bring people to our website, but it has to be visually attractive and interesting to get people to click on these links. Pinterest was started, just a bit of trivia, to enable saving and discovery of information using images, and on a smaller scale GIF and videos, and that's changing now. This was done in 2019. They've added a lot more capabilities for videos. Why do I use Pinterest? I use it to find inspiration for ideas for projects like the rest of the world does. You collect things, you put them under a board, you put them under a name, and everybody does that. You can also do that for your business in a business account and have other people share to those pins to their own boards. And so you've doubled or quadrupled the reach of those pins by sharing them. You can find interesting website content, blog posts, articles, and collect those onto another board. You can help share other people's content. If somebody has a book launch, you can go in there and share their content as a pin and watch that visibility skyrocket. You can build that brand recognition, and you can gain subscribers to your website. But mostly, this is when I started Instagram, I just absolutely loved it, and I started looking at that as a prayer ministry and created engagement like this. I never thought would happen on Pinterest, but here's a Bible sermon note post that I made. And once we get into the screen sharing of my account, you can see how many people have viewed this. So I've got quite a few comments on this, but this one just touched me. I am not a Christian, but this is really pretty and cool. And then somebody else replies, Jesus is pretty awesome, I'm telling you. So I can imagine these young gals, hopefully some point God will allow them to connect, or looking at their names there, you can't tell if they've connected to your website or not. But Pinterest does have these bits where people can like or comment on your post there. So it's a small bit of a social media platform in here. The history, it's only been around 10 years, but when Instagram went live and Pinterest around the same time, we look 10 years from now and look how much that's grown, and the business account is the one thing that has absolutely changed. So, device comparisons. Pinterest works differently on each device in small features that sometimes are very important. For example, iPhones or phones have a hashtag search feature, so you can look and see how many people are following that hashtag. The other two I've not been able to find as easily. They might be there, I haven't found them. And the iPad has a home feed tuner, and I'll show you what that is a little bit later. And it's just easier for the business use, but it also has some other quirks that I don't like. The computer, larger screen, you can claim your website here where you can't claim it on your phone or your iPad in the same way. There's just a little bit of extra features on the computer. You can create bulk pins that I've not been able to find, but if you've been able to find them and we want to help each other, if you pop those type of things in the chat, that would be helpful to all of us. And in the computer, the home feed has a way to look at the followers and tune that up to follow just the people you want to see in your feed. So for example, the next few slides, I'm going to just show you the little bit of the features, and then we'll go right into my account. Here is the created, and the created is pins, and the saved is boards. And if you just write that down and put a sticky note on your computer, you can kind of remember that. I've only been on Pinterest for a couple years, but I still get them confused. I think created means create a pin. But you can see and the tried is if you have a feature where somebody says, here's an idea, here's the tools, here's the products, do you want to try it? And then you can post your picture under their pin, and those are special ones that you can do that. The pencils everywhere. Wherever there are pencils, that's your edit feature, just like they are for most places. And then these tools up in your top right of the computer are not exactly the same on the phone, but this particular megaphone here is where the engagements would be, not necessarily communicating with other people, but it tells you how many people have seen your pin, how many people have commented, and that megaphone is the engagements of your pins. The bubble here is your inbox. That would be if somebody sends you a message. I quite often have to delete messages. The bell is the notification where that'll give you updates, and I'll show you a close-up of that. Let's see, the plus sign is create, and that means create pins, boards, and idea pins. And so here is the differences between the iPad and the phone. You can see there's the account setting. There's the account setting, and this has edit the cover here. I don't see edit the cover at all here. I know you can, but it's in one of these separate settings. And then on the computer, here's your settings over here. And there's your account settings. And here I don't see where you can edit the cover. And I'll save this. I know we record these so you can go back and look, but I also have a PDF that I've created with some of these differences. So the home feed is very similar on a phone to your Instagram. And if you look at these people across here, these are the people that I follow, their accounts. And you also have the opportunity. So Twyla Franz has 5 pictures on her. It's like a story for Instagram. So you can click through the top here and see what they've put into their stories. Here's Ginger Harrington. On the iPad, you can tune your feed by boards, by history, and topics. And the topics, that's what these are across here. And your topics here are bullet journal, drawings, inspirational quotes. And on the computer, you have one extra feature, and that is to follow or unfollow these people, these accounts, with a much easier interface than if you go in here and you have to go into each individual account rather than a scrolling list of them. And again, if I've said something that's not true, or you've come up and you've figured out some different things, pop those things in the chat so we can all look at those things. And I think I went backwards there, sorry. And between all the devices, the data is not in real time. The numbers are off. So this number doesn't equal this at any point. And all 3 of my devices, they're all different. Within this, still, it's like 700 pins, but it's the same point in time I took this photo. They're showing different numbers of pins on each device. Pin creation used to be story pins, now it's idea pins, and they test those things for advertising. And then here is your phone's the picture of what your if you were going to create a pin, what that looks like, the elements of the creation of a pin. And this is the same on every device, that just looks just a little different. And I'm going to say this here, and then I'll repeat it a little bit once we get in there. You want to have the same keywords, the same or similar words that you put in your title. You're going to repeat them in the description, and you're going to repeat them in the hashtags within the description, and you're going to repeat them in your alt text, and you're going to repeat them in your board title. So that is how Pinterest works. If you have a pin and you just said, cool clothes I like, and you say bell-bottom pants here, and you have one hashtag that says blue jeans, and you have the alternative text that's blank or has different words, that Pinterest is not going to know what to do with that. You're going to train it or teach it to look for specific words in your title, description, your alternative text, and your board title, wherever you put that. You're going to put some common words. And then this, you'll want to actually put something in that goes to your content somewhere as you create a pin, so that when I go and I find that pin, I'm going to send it off, but your link will stay with that pin. Nobody can take that link off of that. It'll be yours. And the more people that share it, the more people that are going to see and potentially click on it to go to your website. And that's the power of the business account, is some of those features are not available in just a personal account. So if you're wanting to create a business for yourself, you're a writer, you're going to publish a book, you help writers, you have a blog, you want to get subscribers, the business account is really a must, because it has those features where you can claim your website. And the last thing here on this is the editing. The hashtags only works like this on the phone, and I think it does on the iPad too. Maybe somebody can put in the chat if that's true on the iPad. I can't remember actually using it there, but I know on my phone this works, on the computer it does not. So if you start a hashtag in the description and you start typing, things will start populating, and every letter you add, a new list will come out. And you will see how many pins entirely on all of Pinterest there are. So there's 928K pins that have the hashtag journal on them. There are oodles, I don't know where that word came from, of pins that have no hashtags whatsoever. So of course those are not counted in any of these numbers. And when you continue to write the word journal, you'll see journaling is still there, but you'll see sometimes there are things you would think this would be a nice hashtag, but look, there's no hashtag here, and there's 0 pins, so this would not work. But anyway, this is the way you find the viability and the number of pins that are already out there. And it's, if you're familiar with Instagram, knowing, this, you're going to find more people in this group because there's more people pinning them. And then we've already talked about that. So I think that's it. Okay, so let's dive into the sharing of my Pinterest account. Let's see if I can delete that. So any questions now would be a good time while I'm finding my Pinterest and getting my getting a drink of water here. So I'll go ahead and mute for a second. Does anyone have any questions?
I think the only question that's come up so far was about your PDF that you'll be handing out, and the seeing a copy of maybe this presentation.
Find my microphone again. Okay, good. So quickly, I'll just show you what that looks like. This is a 5-page document with a few screenshots of some things that you've seen, and it's got some lists of, to collect text and links, do ABC, and it's got your lists. How to edit your profile, here's how to do that. So the real nitty-gritty, if you've not ever created Pinterest or you've not done the settings, this will go through those. I'm just going to show you where they're at, and we won't actually go through all of these things, but this is more of a reference for like a how-to instruction booklet. I actually read instructions when I put things together. And then it tells you how to create a board and where the board's located. And here's some screenshots. And so that I'm going to have Melissa or someone put in the group. So here is, are we still screen sharing?
Yes.
Okay. There's usually a nice big green box around it, and I do not see that. Do y'all see Melissa's face here? Does that come through?
We do.
That's too fun. So I don't know how to get rid of that. Here, we'll just go like that. There we go. All right, so I know some of you in the group have talked about why get the business account. It's really totally preference, but these are the tools you're going to get with your business account. You've got a business hub and your home feed that's also on the personal, but you're going to get these analytics, and it's kind of counterintuitive. I keep going to business, but it's under analytics, and all of these features, they change over time. Oh, and sadly on tape, on recording, these are all going down, but this shows the impressions in real time, as much as real time is with Pinterest, and the total audience that my pins have, the engagements on the pins, and the engaged audience. And then they give you graphs, and you can go from engagements, outbound clicks. You can see all of these type of things that you can't see in a personal account. Super, super valuable to say, what's the rate of engagement? What's the rate of them clicking on my pins? You can click and see that. And then you can see your top boards, which boards get higher impressions and engagement. So I got 61 outbound clicks from this group of pins. This one I got 65, and you can see those are going to mostly my website. A few of them are to Instagram and YouTube. Then a little farther down, you will get the chance, you can promote some they don't let you, I don't know why, but you can promote some of your pins and do advertisements with that business account. And I've not done any advertisements whatsoever, but you can go through here and see the number of, for a bullet journal pin created in May of 2020, there's now about 240,000 impressions of that particular group of pins. I went from 0 to 0 monthly followers for about 6 months, 8 months, and then I started doing research, and I like doing that kind of thing. Maybe that's the geeky part of my bio there, but I dug into why I wasn't getting any monthly views, and it has to do with this idea of an algorithm or a mathematical formula. When things get shared, what does Pinterest do with those, and how much more do they share them with other people? And it's very similar to a lot of the other platforms. But you can also look here and see if I've shared somebody's pin. I think these are all my pins, but if you share somebody's, oh, here it is, other pins of my pin, so then I can go here and look and see somebody else has shared this, and their view of this particular pin has that many views on it. And when they click on that, it's still going to go to me. It's still going to go to my website if they share it to their board. And that's the beauty of following people and sharing their content, is you're helping each other out to get people to see your social media, to find your content, to read your blog, whatever it is your goal is as a writer or as an artist, whatever your goal is, you would make that pin do that action. So up here we saw these features up here. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to just leave the search here. The updates just show that 1,007 people responded to my pin, this pin, 12 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago. This person saved this pin, and then you get to see the activity. This right here is messages, and usually I would just encourage you, you all have seen the Instagram kind of stuff, I just decline them unless I know them, and then just leave it unless they start and there are some people that will press you and comment, and you want to get to the point where you block them if it's too much. And then here is one of the gals in our group that I've spoken to, and we've shared some pins in a message. So under this particular little message bubble, you can share pins to other people and ask them to pin them to one of their boards. And if you don't do it every day or every week or abuse that privilege, you'll get people that will give you, this person gave me a pin, and then I share that to a board. And then, let's see, I think, did we do this one? And these are the messages. This was where the message said, I'm not a Christian, but this is interesting. And then people can comment on that. And then when I click on them, I can come over here and reply, and whether they like them or not, and then you can edit your pin right here too. So many places you can edit the pin. All right, so those are the features up here. Here's the business. They also have conversion insights. Just started. I've never clicked on it. I don't know what that is, but it looks like a really good thing. And if you go back over to your picture, if you get lost in Pinterest, just click this. This sends you back to your home. Now I clicked the arrow, not the picture, so you can see right away it tells me it's a business account. So if I click it, this just sends me back to the home. Two things you need to do is put a video here if you can, because that has been promoting people's accounts a little bit more with the video, and that's a new feature. And make this name, I've got both my name and my business name now in here. It's something I just changed. But I'll need to go back in here and add my full name for this to be more searchable in their engine. And you see I've put a few hashtags here. You can do that, or you could just write a description. When you write a description, make sure it's the words you want, and it's some of the words. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I'm sorry. On the saved, that's the pins. So you're going to pick some of these words in your pin, or excuse me, your boards for up here. Because again, you've got your title, your description, and your board names and your pin names. Make some of those as close as you can to the same. These are the stats at any one time. These changed. This was up to 1.7 million monthly viewers at one time. It was down to 900K, back and forth, up and down, depending on how much I put into this and how well those pins do. And then these are the number of people that are following this particular Pinterest account, and this is the number of people I'm following. Any questions? I'm going to go into these settings right here next.
I'm wondering how you can use Pinterest to monetize.
You would have to have the business account, and then you monetize it by getting people to come to your website, and you're not earning clicks per se, but you're connecting with that audience, and so they're hopefully going to invest in you and your writing and your products, whatever you have, by using this to get them. So it's not like an affiliate kind of program. I've not seen that in here. Now that doesn't mean they won't, because there have been some changes with and boy, if you all know Edie Melson, she is a wealth of information on all these platforms. And there's about another 6 people that I watch and I listen and I read about what things they're looking at, and they talk about the changes. And Pinterest has started to look at advertisements to sell to the people that use Pinterest, where this used to be completely free. And so now there's a whole, look how big this is now. And I don't see anything in there that is per click monetizing like an affiliate would be. But you can choose your audience. You can choose how to target specific age groups and whatnot, and all of that comes with a plethora of reports in addition to these analytics.
Thank you.
So here is where, sorry for the scrolling, here's where that about the profile is. And so where I have this about my profile, there's only so many words we can put here. So I'm going to take out some of these, and I thought I would just do it right here, just so easy. And I'm going to put my first, or my full name. And you can do these bars or little stars or anything you like. I'm going to take and just shorten up some of these, take those out. And so now it's going to go. So now I have my name back in there. That's also up here. I have Tiffany Arts, Tiffany Studio is up here. Art and journals, I don't have those. So I could go art, and then you would go, okay, what else do I want to get rid of to be able to have those 2 words there as well? Let's do poetry. Let's take that out. That's about the right number of words. And you can change this and see if it gives you any better results if you change this up. don't forget to save it. I don't know how many times I've done this. It looks like it's good, and then I forget. Two other things for settings, and then I won't talk much more about settings, but let's see, privacy. So if you have this off, nobody can see your pins, and you don't need a business account. You can just use a personal one. But if you're doing a business account, you want people to see you and save your pins and help you promote that. So you want to make sure this is on. Not just the people you follow, but anybody, because it's a search engine. And you just delete those annoying messages that come up here. And then these are things that are totally your opinion, but if you don't want some of these activity, I had this off for a huge long time, but I got ads that were kind of offensive. So I just click it back on, and now it's learning what I like and it's showing you better ads. So I put it back on. And then the other one is the security. You want to make sure that you check up on this, and if you have a two-step, do that, because there's a lot of hacking and compromised accounts lately. Every platform there is, so make sure you do that. Even though it's a pain to remember password or to have to grab your phone, things are getting hacked in disproportionately over time. And then you can click and show your sessions. Melissa or Johnny, if I forget, if I've shown some of my personal like email or stuff like that before we post it on YouTube, we might need to go and block that out. I actually hadn't thought of that. I'm not sure if I have or not, but. And then the last one on the settings I'm going to show you is the claim. So I have claimed my website, and when you click claim, it'll give you the directions. And this is with a business account. Instagram, I've got Instagram now connected so that I can cross post. I have my Etsy shop so I can tag my products that I'm selling on Etsy and put them here. And then I have a YouTube channel that I started last summer, and I can send people to YouTube videos. And so I claimed that so it's easier. And if you had a Shopify, you could install that and claim that as well. Any questions on that? I'm going to click here just so you can see. You'll get one of these three depending on your comfort zone and what you, I was going to see if I can make it bigger, but I cannot see there. So this here, most people can click and copy this and it's code. You don't need to know what that code is, but you put it in the header of your website, and there's a little place that says advanced features and add code to your header, and you just paste it in there. And if it doesn't work, you take it out and contact your website person, and they'll be able to help you put that in there. I don't do this because I don't know how to get into my root directory. It's Squarespace's, they own it, so I can't do this unless I sell or service the websites. And then you could give this to your domain host if you have no idea where the header is, can't find it. You can ask your domain host, whoever, Bluehost, GoDaddy, Squarespace, WordPress, wherever, you can give them this verification code, and that's how you claim your website as a business. And I would just start right through, go right down and make sure the notifications. I edit each one of these. Look at how much, there's just tons and tons and tons. And you want to make sure that you're not getting a lot of garbage and a lot of extra stuff that you're just going to have to sort through your email. So take care of those notifications as well. Now I'm going to go to the main account, and any questions that have come up in the chat here.
I have one from Kathy earlier, and she was wanting to know about the charges that Pinterest might like give you for like a business account, and I believe it's only for the advertisements that they'll charge you. But is there any other service that Pinterest will charge you for their services?
No, just the advertising, and those are very clearly right here under the ads. If you go under business, you have a hub that you can go into, and that will also give you, um, let's see. Yeah, so you see I started here and I thought this would be really good to put a tag here, but it costs, so I stopped. Um, there's not really as much under the business hub for cost here. It's mostly right there. So custom reports and all of that kind of stuff you can get, but you have to put your credit card in, so you can see I've not done anything with that. I'm not going to be real good at answering too much on the ads since I've not done them. I have no knowledge whether they're worth it or not, but it seems like when I go back to my homepage here, it seems like by following the tips that I researched, this can be, I mean, you can get quite a good following without absolutely any payment, without any ads whatsoever. If you do like little things, like put a video here, make sure the words, like see now it has my full name, now it has my full name here. And then the next thing under your board, really the first thing you would do when you create a Pinterest account, but if you already have one, let's see here. There is my board that is my name again. And I put writer, artist, Christian. I can't get the full business name, so this will probably boost up those numbers because I didn't realize I didn't have my Patricia Tiffany Morris name in the description of the Pinterest account. So I put it here as well. And then I just put my bio in here. And then I put a few hashtags. But I should fix these and change these. This was about a year ago that I put these in. I'm not really doing mixed media much anymore. Anyway, you can put a lot more description in this for your board. You can keep it private, but only if okay, I'm going to back up just a little bit. The reason you would keep a board secret and the reason you would do a business account instead of creating a brand new account and having two, instead of having a business and a personal, is just to have a business, is that you can hide some boards and you can have people collaborate with you on a private board. It's not like nobody can see it, but just the people you select. And the reason is, when I go through this, it's a search engine. Pinterest is trying to figure out who I am, and look at all the variety of odd things I have. This one needs to be private. This was a test we did, and we just practiced sharing pins with each other. So this particular pin, I would probably, we're the only ones that can see it anyway now. I'm not sure why it doesn't have a padlock on it though. Over here, padlock. Over here, padlock. And padlock. Those are things that now Pinterest is not going to include those in trying to figure me out. So I probably should make a few more things private. I'm not sure what I would do. Maybe steampunk, because I'm not really doing anything with that. I just like them. But it is trying to, just like your website, figure out who you are and what you want and what types of boards you want. Gardening is private. It's so different than any of the rest of this stuff. I know there's probably like clothing I would wear. That's not really searchable because nobody's going to search for that. They're going to put the type of clothing that they might wear. So they're going to write the specifics, and that's searchable up here. So this one I put private because nobody's going to care what clothing I wear, and it's not going to help Pinterest describe who I am, if that makes sense. So I've got writing, planning, art, blogs, lots of art stuff. some collaboration boards. This one is the Hope Writers board. Crafts, a lot of digital stuff and some more drawing. I started liking coffee paintings, so I collected those. I'm creating a comic book journal, so I started collecting those. So it's music might be one that I hide, just to give a little more narrow focus for my account. So next I'm gonna just go into the create a pin. So once you have your board here, this is how you edit your board, is just by clicking on that pencil. And you'll want this to be similar to your account. And this is the board from your website. This is the board you're going to save things to from your blog, from your website. And this is the board that Pinterest prioritizes to send pins out, or to send to show to more people. Does that make sense? So everybody should have one pin, or excuse me, everybody should have one board with the description of what it is that kind of matches this up here, that has your name in some form or another, as close as you can get it, because that's the board that you're going to save things to and connect to your website. So in my website, I have Squarespace. It will ask me for the pin icon. It'll ask me, where do I want to send that pin when somebody clicks on it? And then I will put this board name, and it will give me permission to do that. So my website now has permission from Pinterest, and Pinterest has permission for my website, and they sync those together when people click on it, when I click on it. And I see a few chat questions flowing through, but I hope the audio comes through on the replay. Thank you for being so gracious. It's a very popular strategy, and it's a very profitable and beneficial way to let people know who you are. Now, granted, those 1.2 million views, very, very small amount of those people are probably going to go to my website. But there's that many more people that have seen some of the things that I've done than would have been if I hadn't have created a Pinterest account. If you go here, this is create a pin, and you saw create a board, and you'll see these same things that was on the screenshot of the phone in the PowerPoint. You have a title, you have a description, you have alternate text. They moved that. It used to be clear at the bottom, and a destination. Super, super easy if you have an app side by side on the computer to do some of this. So I create a note and put everything to deal with Pinterest in here. So if I do hashtags and posting, I also have some notes in Instagram about Pinterest. So you have your title. So if I were going to do, I can copy that, paste it in here. I actually have to copy it first. And you can see how fast you can get at this if you've done this description and the hashtags ahead of time, and you have several things of the same type of things. You can always come in here and tweak those a little bit. And I put my website link so I can just grab it and paste. And if you take this picture probably doesn't match this, but do you see how I can just drag it into here? And obviously it doesn't like that proportion, but I can put it in bullet journaling. I can come in here and I can put it in any of my boards that I've created. And I'm going to put this in bullet journaling. I need to learn how to scroll better. And under bullet journaling, you'll see I have all these subsections, but I'm just going to put it under the main heading here. So I'm popping that in. And I see our time is almost end, so I'm going to finish this, and we'll let this go through its little, and you notice what I forgot was alternative text. And what I'd probably do for that is I would have copied blackout poetry from a page of a book, find inspiration in your genre, and I would just copy the text part. Don't copy the hashtags, because this is going to be a screen reader for someone that's blind or needs the accessibility features. So I would just copy the rest of that. So now we see it, and I can come in here and I can edit it, and I can take that bit. And now that's even more searchable if I put that there. I've never used the note to myself. So now it's got all those features in it, and I can save it to several places. So that is creating a pin and using notes to have this stuff ready. And I just give myself little notes for, remember to do this. Here's another one, a different type of thing. That probably should have been the one I copied, since that's the picture. So I'm going to stop there, and I don't know, do you want me to stop sharing at this point and just answer questions, or leave the share for just a little bit?
Why don't you go ahead and stop the share and let people come back on?
Okay, great.
So if you want to come back on, please do so. I'm sorry for the echo. But yes, you're invited to come back on. I did not see questions that were missed, but Brandy, Melissa, if either of you did, please point them out, and I'll mute myself again.
I see several comments in there about when you get to your book launch and all, and I would say even before that, just keep putting your website banner, your website logo, just let people know what it looks like and who you are. And then when your book launch comes out, they'll be familiar with who you are and go, oh, I've been there, or I know who that is.
Well, this is a lot of great information. I'm truly a little bit overwhelmed. It's been a while since I've worked on my Pinterest. It's like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do anything else today, so I could just get started on it. People did ask about the PDF. It will be available in the Facebook Writers
Yes.
group later this afternoon.
And
do have one
remember,
question.
just do pick a number, pick 3 pins a day to go back and fix, and then maybe create one, and then wait a few days, fix 3 pins and create one, and do that technique of getting those words through there. I still have hundreds, probably thousands of pins that I haven't gone back and fixed once I knew what I was supposed to be doing. So just don't make that like a obsession, but just fix what a goal is and how many days a week or what do you want to do, and then how many pins you're going to fix and how many you're going to create.
Now, can you just mention real quick, if you change from a personal account to a business account, how that transition happens with your account and your existing pins?
Okay, so if you go from a personal to a business, it doesn't change any of your pins. I did that, and I experienced that firsthand. There's no risk of losing things. But if you wanted to do both, to have a personal and a business, it's like pulling teeth. I spent weeks calling, talking, emailing with Pinterest, and now they have a help feature that says you can't do it yourself. So don't try to do it. You have to contact them. They're the only ones that can do that. And the reason is there's like an ad number assigned to your account, and it's email specific, so you have to have 2 separate emails with 1 login, and it's crazy silly. In my opinion, it really schizophrenic when you get in there trying to figure out which account am I in? Going back and forth. So I created 2 Pinterest accounts at one point, and you can't tell when you're in there which account you're in. So I would really highly discourage that. I would say if you're a writer and you want this as your business, get your legal paperwork done, file with your state, get your sales tax permit, and just go for it. And turn it into a business account, because you straddle that bit between am I a business or not. When you start making money, now you're all set. You got everything ready. But Pinterest is not kind with allowing you to do both personal and business, and it's not good for yourself, because when you get in there, as you're scrolling around, you can't tell which one unless you have a better memory than me and make a sticky note to say, now I'm in my business one. And yeah, anyway, that's my opinion anyway.
I think it would probably help if you chose a different profile picture.
But you don't always see that profile picture when you're scrolling around.
Don't you always see it up in the upper right corner?
No.
Hmm.
When you're on the home page, you do. When you're on the searching, and there's on the phone, it's at the bottom. But when you're actually inside creating pins, when you're changing your board, you're doing all of that kind of stuff, it's just hard to tell. And then plus you have to sign out and sign in, and but it's totally up to you which one you want to, if you want to do that. But I would just encourage you, if you're a writer and you're publishing and you're going to go for it, I would encourage you to just jump in and just get that business account and sort of claim it.
Hi, this is Joe. I have a question.
Yes, Joe.
I'm not really using Pinterest yet. I'm planning on it. I have my first children's book coming out. It's a series in November, and it is about my characters going back in time to the first Winter Olympics. And the Winter Olympics are going to be out in February. So my question is this, for anybody really, what do you think about me using Pinterest as far as talking about not, getting them ready for my book, but also talking about the upcoming Winter Olympics as well?
Absolutely. And you can create boards that are similar, but have that same pin in several boards. So you can have it in the Olympic, you can have it in a sports board, you could have it in a book board, you could have it in a Christian author board. I don't have the screen sharing up now, but if you looked at my pins, I don't know if you saw the one clothing I would wear. That's not searchable, but I also put several phrases that are longer than just a word, because they're like the long tail keywords that you use for other places. It's in Amazon, whether you pick women's books, you're going to get so many. But if you put women's book with flowers and pink, you're going to get a smaller group, and Pinterest does that too.
Okay.
So many boards with many titles, but you can so one board you could put the Olympics and books about the Olympics. One you could put sports, favorite ice skate. No, is it ice skating?
Mm-hmm.
Which Olympics? I'm not even following. But then you would put those terms, and you can put that same pin in all of those boards. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Your cover of your book, even. I mean, that's so lovely. And you see on the other side of you where you've got this other frills.
Yep.
Take a picture of that, and
Okay.
you've got 2 pins right there. And then take both of those items and put them together in a pin, one on top one. Then you've got a 4th pin when you mix so you can do all combinations of that, and you get this nice look of that same book lovers. Have a tea party set up somewhere, have a book set up that's actually pages curved, and just come up with all kinds of visuals that match that book lover's companion, and then take them all to wherever they're being sold. Just keep that link.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it is getting rather late. Of course, we did get started late, but Patricia, thank you again so very much. That was a lot of great information. I actually went to my Pinterest just a few moments ago, and it is a total mess. I haven't been on there in forever. It even asked me, it said, you haven't been using the business info for a long time. Do you want to stay on a business account? And I did hit yes. So, so yeah, I need to do some work. Thank you so much. The replay will be up as soon as it converts and gets everything done. Next week, I'm really excited to tell you that Bethany Jett, my lovely daughter, will be back with us again. And she's going to be talking about Reel and TikTok videos. She and a couple other folks in Serious Writer are really doing a lot with that and really making some headway into that platform. So that if you're interested in that at all, you'll certainly want to be here for her presentation. Anything else before we leave? All right, we will see y'all next week, if not before. Have a great day and play with Pinterest. Thanks again. Bye-bye.